Hi guys, welcome back to Chig. So இன்னைக்கு we have a new guest. Let's welcome Ashutosh bro.
எனக்கு அசுதோஷ் யாருன்னே தெரியாது ப்ரோ. அதாவது இந்த பாட்காஸ்ட்ல வந்து எனக்கே சர்ப்ரைஸ் பண்ணிட்டாரு. நேத்து வந்து தான் சொன்னாரு, ஒரு கெஸ்ட் ஒன்று வர்றாரு, அவர் பேர் வந்து அசுதோஷ். ரொம்ப ஃபெமிலியரான நேமா இருக்கே. அப்போ யோசிச்சேன், ஆனா யாருன்னு தெரியாது. பார்த்தா நம்ம நண்பர் அசுதோஷ் வந்து நீங்களா என்றாகும். எனக்கு அவரை தெரியும், அவரோட நண்பர் மூலியமா தெரியும். ஆனா கடைசியில உள்ள என்ட்ராகும் போதே அவரே வந்து நீங்க அவர் தானேன்றாரு. ஒன்லி இன் சிக் சிக்ல மட்டும் தான் இந்த மாதிரி திங்ஸ் நடக்குங்க. சோ சிக் பாருங்க.
Yeah. So first of all, let's welcome Ashutosh bro. Thank you for coming here.
Thank you.
He is actually into music tech. அது வந்து நம்ம கம்மியா டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ற ஒரு ஃபீல்டு. இங்க நிறைய டைம் வந்து டிஸ்கஷன்ல வராத ஒரு டாபிக் அது. இதை பத்தின டிஸ்கஷன் இருந்தா நல்லா இருக்குமே. ஸோ வி கேன் ஆஸ்க் இஃப் இஸ் அவைலபிள்ன்றது கேட்டதான் இந்த பாடு கூப்பிட்டேன். ஸோ
அது மட்டும் இல்ல, சந்தர் வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா டெக்னிக்கல் விஷயத்துல வந்து பயங்கர குறியா இருப்பாரு. சரிங்களா? அது ரொம்ப நாளா வந்து டெக்னீஷியன்ட்ட பேசணும்னு சொல்லிட்டு அசுதோஷம் மேனிஃபெஸ்ட் பண்ணாரு. இதான் நடந்துச்சு.
It occurred very randomly. ஒரு random eventல we were screening our short film and through one of our mutual friends Ashutosh bro அங்க வந்திருந்தாரு. And we ended up introducing ourselves. அதுக்கப்புறமா அவர் என்ன பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காரு அவர் டொமைன்ல அப்படின்னு கேட்டப்போ it was very interesting. ஸோ இந்த கான்வர்சேஷன் வந்து நம்ம கம்ப்ளீட்லி ஒரு டிஃப்ரெண்ட் ஏரியா டுவர்ட்ஸ் இன்சைட் மியூசிக் வந்து பார்க்கலாம் அப்படின்றது தான் the idea. Ash bro, நீங்க சொல்லுங்க. So what do you exactly do?
So I'm Ashutosh. For the last 3 years, I've been building a digital modular synthesizer software. So that's built like from scratch using C++ with very little outside libraries, like just no extra frameworks, nothing like that. So it's all just built from the ground up. So I could learn, and also maybe by the end of it, I could have something to maybe sell or, so yeah.
For you, in a simplistic view, what should be a synthesizer design about?
For pro audio, you don't want all of these, like pro audio has a very specific set of requirements when you're dealing with massive speakers or anything like that. Even a small, like a single frame of audio being dropped can cause like a lot of problems.
True.
So for pro audio, yeah, it makes sense. But if your end goal is just making sound, then it's a lot easier than most softwares will let you know. So it's you can just start from a sine wave and just build your way up like that.
Even in the beginning, mix engineers and all those mentors, right? They keep telling you, don't see the plugin interface and decide this plugin is better. So it is always about the sounding. What is in your mind when you think about how many oscillators we need? Do you think about that, or like you just...
So you're asking me when I make music or when I'm designing the software?
That's the question. Are you thinking it in the same time, or are you like keeping both of the parts separate?
It's kind of both together, but when I'm making music, like when I'm actually using the software, that's like a separate thing, and when I'm building the software, it's a separate thing.
So you have to like compartmentalize your...
I can switch very easily between the two, but it's two separate things is what I mean. So
what is the process that leads you towards building that software, man? It's like you go through a certain development process for that, no? What
inspired me?
Yeah, what inspired you? What is your trajectory towards it? How did you get into all of this?
So the first thing I got into was like way back was hardware. So tinkering with all this Arduinos and microcontrollers, all these things. And then from there, that got too expensive, so I moved on to game development. And then delusion was a problem there. I believed I could build this and that. So then I branched out into audio around COVID time. So I started out with a software called VCB Rack. It's a modular synthesizer. Yeah, so I was using that. I had a lot of fun with it. Then, like, I think I'd always wanted to make like my own synthesizer after working with that. So at some point they introduced an update that changed one of the cables or something like that. It was annoyed me, so I was like, okay, I need to sit down and start work on, and and developing with Windows has been an absolute nightmare. Because why would it be easy when it can be hard instead? No? So yeah, it's just been 3 years of just first I started with getting sound out of the sound card, just any sound, and then designing a UI around it and slowly adding more and more features. And the last like 5% of this project has been the hardest to finish because it's all just ironing out bugs and adding quality of life things that people usually expect from software. So yeah, that's how it is.
So have you named the software and when's the release planned?
The software is called QTSynth, or QTSynth as I like to pronounce it.
Okay.
Release is soon, trademark. It's probably in the next week if I had to guess.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so
The thing is, the
yeah,
video is
and I
gonna
know,
come
yeah.
later.
So November, probably before December begins. Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. Like, so I can see that you went through your process of testing out all these sounds and all these, sound cards and everything of sorts, right? Like getting sounds out of the sound card, is what you said. Can you describe that process? Like, what did you actually mean?
So the one framework, not even framework, it's just a set of classes, C++ classes that I use. It's called RT Audio.
Okay.
It's made by McGill University, a very big name in audio. So it's just that RT Audio, and just making it interface with whatever hardware you have on your computer, your laptop, and you can tell it what shape of wave to play. So like if you just put in sine of 2 pi f, if you just plug in the formula there, it will actually play it at your device's sample rate. So you can, from there you can make sawtooth waves. Then you can start implementing filters and amplifiers and all these things.
That's mad. It reminds me of this college experiments that we do with this oscillator. Remember, like that is what is coming into my head right now when you're talking about this.
Like I like a lot of music that is made with synthesizers.
Okay.
So I think one of the first artists where I listened to them and I was like, okay, I need to make something like this is Boards of Canada. There's an artist called Boards of Canada. They make this very nostalgic, mostly sample based things, like all slowed down and reversed and all these things. So that, and a bunch of other artists as well. So yeah, I've always wanted to go that route. And another thing is I've always been interested in modular things. Things where you have all these separate blocks and you can plug them together to make something interesting. So like in college I studied mechanical engineering. So I was into fluid power control, which is pneumatics and hydraulics and all these things. So they had this big ass board with all
tubings.
with cylinders and switches and things, and you're free to connect them however you please, and you can make it like sequence itself, that sort of thing.
I think I'm able to understand where he's going with this. I think because of my mentor also, Asura. He has been working with AI based platforms for quite some time, and all of them, the sound based platforms and all, have this replication of synth, copying sounds.
Emulation.
Yeah, so all of that. So I don't know much of that. Very recently only started to get to know about it. And now I think I've been doing prompt engineering for the last 3 to 4 months, right? Like why I'm saying why using the words prompt engineering is because of the fact that people think that prompting means you just need simple English. That is not it. You actually need to have code. You need to know where to put the code. I have started to learn Python itself in the process. I'm not fully there and all, but the thing is that if you like implement that in your prompts and all, the way things that are being projected in your output itself is like massive, right? True. So like it brings me to this question, like have you ever thought of like integrating AI into what you're making, or you want it to be like properly raw manual or sort of like mindset?
I didn't want to include AI. Like just in terms of DSP, like forget AI. There's a lot of libraries and things you can use to make life easier. But I feel like if I use those, I wouldn't like wouldn't learn a whole lot. So yeah, AI is just never.
Let's take Mix or instrument plugins are currently trying to implement AI in it. So most of the work is like now reduced for the engineers, and they say it's for creative people so that they can easily do stuff. What is your opinion? Like, will it reduce the workload?
I think a lot of people use AI as a crutch. Like at least while designing software, they're like, okay, we can just if we have AI, then we can have a whole browser where you can browse things and select different settings and all of these things. I mean, it's bad enough that can I swear on this? It's bad enough that things like 800 megabytes for a simple piano. And now with AI, it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. The only way forward is down. In my opinion, at least. It's like I'm not against people working with AI at all. Like I've used it not for code, but for example, like managing color schemes for my software, because you have different themes you can switch between. So I asked it to write code that would make it so that when I typed in the hex code of the color, it would fill the cell. So just things like that where I have no interest in learning cell just for this. So I have no problems with that. It's just like with content creation, I'm not a huge fan.
As he said, it is either used directly within the plugin. Like in Pro Tools, they have Assistant, which is coming up.
Okay.
So you basically speak with Pro Tools, and then it does a bunch of stuff. Like if you ask, select a couple of tracks and then do something, rather than you doing it with multiple clicks. Just say it to Pro Tools and it does all those things. So I find it to be very interesting. And there is also a part like in plugins like Ozone, mixing and mastering. So instead of us tweaking the knobs, just give it a reference track and then you ask the AI to match it. Then it will do it on its own. I understand creatives who are like completely unfamiliar with the workflow. They can achieve some result which is like professionally as well as for the public. It sounds really good.
When it comes to your software, right? Like, do you have a patented invention in it? Like, is there something that you are willing to patent in the future also with this?
No.
Okay.
No. Because it's all things I learned from the internet.
Okay.
So, like I won't make it open source, but like I will just I will have a free and a paid version.
You will have a free and a paid version. Okay. So like, if you want to talk about your software, right? Like, what do you think is different with your software compared to the other DAWs? And like, what was the biggest challenge that you faced while making this software?
Okay, so what is different is it does a lot of things, but some not as good as the others. It's not. It's basically like a project that I finished, which I've never done before. I know I finished it.
Okay. For this, we are gonna buy that software and see what that.
For his complete honesty,
Okay.
if nothing but anything, for his complete.
Nah, man, that's like huge achievement. So, yeah, it's mad achievement, man. Let's go.
So,
talk about it.
So normally, like for example, VCV is the environment, and they have a few modules of their own, but they also have it where other developers can develop modules for the software.
Yeah.
For me, it's just all like I had to do all of it, and sometimes when you're just building things from scratch, you can get things slightly wrong, and in audio you can hear the difference. Sometimes it sounds interesting. So like if you make like a reverb and then you mess up one of the pathways, you might like find something new. So I've had that like a few patches like I'm not able to recreate because it was something just in that moment. So it has that quality to it where it's almost like a toy box, but it's functional. It's very functional.
For a 1:1 comparison, let's say which synth will you say like for example Serum and Massive, right? They're both wavetable synthesizers. They are both similar to like Yamaha DX7 hardware based. So, like, which synth do you compare your synth to?
Because it has such a wide variety of things, like I would have to say VCV Rack, because that's the first synth, like big, like modular synth that I used. So, because I have FM, I have subtractive synthesis, I have like granular almost. So I have all these separate things.
Which was the first ever plugin that you made? Why did you make it?
First plugin, like I started, or at least I tried to make modules for VCV Rack. It was just like a small utility thing that I thought was missing. Something to do with chords, I think. Where if you put in 3 note values, you could store them as a chord and then play it back later. Something like that.
Okay.
Just
so
something small.
how did you code it? What was the process to get to this?
For that? I mean, they have their own separate path of doing it. I forget how it is exactly. But it's C++. And you have to build it using the system, which I don't remember exactly. It's been a long time.
What software did you take for building the current platform with its plugins and everything?
I use Visual Studio with C++.
Okay.
For audio, I use RT Audio, which is just a set of classes for you to talk to the hardware. That's it. It doesn't provide you with any other functionality. There's that. And for visuals, I use SDL, Simple Direct Media Layer. It's kind of like OpenGL, if you've heard of OpenGL.
I have heard it in the context of graphics card.
Yeah, it is a graphics thing. Okay, so it's just lets you make 3D graphics.
Okay.
SDL lets you make 2D graphics in a very simple way relative to others. So yeah, SDL2 for visuals and RT Audio for the audio and C++. So like I said, how I got started is I started with just getting a basic sound out of the sound card and like printing to the console or something, saying that I played so many frames of the sound. And then you can start compartmentalizing things. Once you have your UI, so once you just make some squares or rectangles, and you can have ports and cables for audio, then you can start compartmentalizing things. Okay, I have an oscillator here, I have an amplifier here, I have an envelope generator here. So that's how you get started. And yeah.
So even before starting, do you plan like I have to have these many oscillators? It's like while you code, you decide, okay, this is possible, then let's do it.
So the structure of the program is something that I had planned.
Okay.
That is the way things inherit from each other in C++. So like I have a base module class, and then that module can be drawn on screen. It can output audio to the sound card. And so each module inherits from that base class. So your oscillator, your filter, all of these things inherit from that. And the way that works with multi-threading, like, is something I had to plan out before.
Okay.
Because there's 2 threads. There's an audio thread that does the audio, which runs at around, depends on your device, but usually it's around 44,000 frames per second. 44,100 frames per second.
This is basically sample rate, right?
Yeah, 44,100 is sample rate.
So when we switch the sample rate of the hardware or inside a DAW project, so it means the plugin also gets switched to the current sample rate, or it defaults to 44,100.
That depends on your sound card, actually. Your sound card will tell the software what is its preferred sample rate.
Okay, so whenever we switch it there, the plugin also should switch.
Can you switch the sample rate? Like, I'm not sure.
In a DAW, yes, right?
Oh, in a DAW, yes. Yeah, but this one
there is no inside the plugin, right?
No, this one just runs on your native sample rate.
Whichever sample rate we fix.
I mean, I can change that. I didn't think people would want it, but I guess oversampling or something like that. Yeah, I could add it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so basically it just runs on your device's sample rate. So that runs at like 44.
Why are you this, Macha? I mean, why do you do? I mean, like, why do you do this? Why do you do this? Why? Why the software? Why did you do this? Why sound? enough of the all IQ questions, man. I would ask like stupid questions for the next couple of minutes. Like,
Go ahead.
why do you do this? Why sound, especially? Why? What is like what?
I told you, like one of the artists that had a huge impact on me was Boards of Canada.
Boards of Canada.
So once I got into their music, I was like just totally just lost. Like how do you even make these songs? Because till I was like 17, 16, 17, 18. So I used to listen to like pop mostly. And then I shifted towards this side. So yeah, I really got into it.
ஸோ ஒரு புதுசாக டெவலப் பண்ண ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணுற ஒரு ஆள் இருக்காங்கன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்களேன். தே ஆர் என்ட்ரிங் இன் டு த வேர்ல்ட் ஆஃப் டிஎஸ்பி.
Okay.
ஸோ லேர்னிங் மெட்டீரியல்ஸ் வந்து எங்கே அவைலபிளாக இருக்கும், என்ன மாதிரியான லேர்னிங்ஸ் வந்து வில் பி யூஸ்ஃபுல் ஃபார் தெம்?
ஆமாம், டிஎஸ்பின்னா என்ன?
அதுவும் நல்ல கேள்வி.
DSP stands for Digital Signal Processing. So that's like all the maths that goes into playing audio, creating audio, all these things. So what resources to use? There is a book called Computational Music Synthesis by Sean Luke from, I forget the name of the university, but it's a freely available book. You can go enter your email and download it. There's that. Then there's a number of other books you can download just based on your, like that book is a very good starting point. So that will tell you all about like what audio is, how audio works, how audio hardware works, how it works in software. So all of these things. Rest you can pick up from all over the place, mostly.
Okay, so YouTube and common blogs.
Not YouTube, but for example, if you go to Wikipedia for a certain thing, based on the description, you might be able to replicate it. You know?
Okay.
Things like that. And there's a lot of forums and stuff.
So specifically for discussing DSP related.
Yeah, there are a lot of audio forums. They're good for like not exactly for code, because you shouldn't be like taking code from other people. At least I didn't. It's good for just general discussions and preferences between people,
So
things like that.
Pitfalls,
Yeah,
caveats, common caveats, you
Yeah.
can understand.
like basically everyone has already asked, how do I get into DSP? And you can find all of those answers. Like I don't know if I would recommend developing on Windows to someone, because it's just been horrible.
இது people do it.
No, it's because like 3 years I've spent developing it. Like at least like 6-7 months was just spent getting everything up and running. Just like trying, giving up, and then just doing something else and then coming back to it, you know? It's that annoying to set up.
What would you suggest instead of Windows?
I don't know. Like
Mac,
not Mac.
Linux.
Linux maybe, but even that is a huge time investment. So Mac is too closed off and annoying. So yeah, Linux is like I'm pretty much clueless about Linux, but at least from what I know, it's a bigger time investment. Windows, I guess, if you just stick with it, and it might help if you have someone, or I guess you could use AI to help you get set up, because I had to go through it all alone. So getting started on Windows is very. The way that I designed the software is like I don't like menu diving in DAWs or even in hardware. I don't like that you have to right click and you have to go into sub menus and stuff. So almost every parameter in the synthesizer is like just up front. Everything's just in front of you. It's either a knob or a button or a port. So I tried to make it as simple and also have that toy-like feel to it, where you can just play around.
So one question I would like to ask is, will it be available as a VST in VST format?
Not right now. Like I don't have plans for VST support.
Okay.
But it supports MIDI, so you could use you could play with your MIDI keyboard or knobs or anything like that.
Live performances.
And you can output, you can record audio with it. So if you want, you can take audio,
output from
audio files, and then you can process them further, which is what I did for my album, which So like over 3 years, as I was building the software, I would record interesting patches or sounds that sounded interesting. So I compiled all of that into a like 22-minute long album, which came out like last month. So yeah, for that I recorded, like I used screen recordings and then just edited them in Audacity, which is a free and open source audio editor.
So any upcoming albums with the plugin?
I mean, I don't know, like maybe. Most probably, yeah, I will make more music. But yeah, I need to release the software first because I've just been doing everything but that. Making an album, doing this, designing t-shirts. just unrelated.
How do you decide your kicks?
Kicks, as in you say it in terms of kick drum, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends, right? But if it's a score or if it's the bass part and it's going to provide you the sub, then obviously it needs to have a lot of low end energy.
No, that's the thing. Like, do you start off with the kicks? Or...
No. For me, at least for me, how it goes is like I do all the placements. If it is in MIDI, I'll place with the kick sample which I feel would be appropriate. I don't spend much time finicky about what exact kick should be there. I produce with whatever kick will work, and then I do all my programming stuff, and later we can always replace the sample with if layer kicks and all those things could be done. If the idea which you have is lost initially, you spend so much of time. Initially I did that. Each and every sample I used to where this has to sound perfect, this has to sound perfect, this has to work well. But unless you have the whole picture in front of you, or at least near to a whole picture, you are never going to finish the work, right? So what I do is I complete a part of the track. Then if I feel okay, this is the right time, then I start picky about sounds. Later in mix and master, obviously we finalize which exact kick should be there, how much low end it should have.
I understand.
Me usually, like, sometimes I don't even have kicks. Sometimes it's just free flowing. But the way I start patches is I usually start with an oscillator, like a sine, saw, square, then or like multiple oscillators with one being detuned so it sounds wider. And then put it through a filter or use like FM, something like that. From there on out, it's just it's hard to describe. It's very it's almost like intuition. Like you have a signal, you're like, okay, I can do this with it, I can do that with it, I can send it back here, feed it back, and make it weirder, things like that. Making kicks, like it depends. Like right now with the modules that I have, making kicks will require a lot of like a large portion of your patch will just be like synthesizing the kick, which is not ideal. But what you can do is you can make the kick patch first, record a few kicks, and then you can use those samples directly because there's a sample player, and the recorded samples also go directly into that folder. So you can record stuff and then play it back, sample it, chop it up, do whatever you want. What were you saying? Like how many oscillators?
Like how many oscillators does it have?
Does
How
it have?
many
Like you
filters
told that it
have?
has to go through like most of the oscillators would be used to producing that kick, right? Like how many like oscillators has to come?
No, there's no limit.
There's no limit.
But like as you approach the limit, there is a limit, obviously. But there's no like set limit.
There's no limit, but there's a limit. Yes, I got it.
There's no imposed limit. Like
okay.
your hardware will be the limit at some point eventually.
There is no limit, guys. It's infinite.
It's
you can add.
You can technically add like I don't know. Most I've done is like 100.
Okay.
The most he has done is 100, guys.
Like I haven't really stress tested, but in the past when my reverb was like really bad, very, very expensive, I put like 4 or 5, the whole thing starts slowing down. So yeah.
People are familiar with frequency FM modulation, and then people are familiar with additive subtractive synthesis.
Okay.
What is the idea behind granular synthesis? If you can give some opening.
So granular synthesis is where you separate the sound, or like if you start with the sound, a sample, like for example, a sample of someone speaking, you separate that sound into tiny grains, where each grain only holds, like, let's say, like a very short amount, like maybe like 200 samples. So that's how much is that? That's like 0.001 seconds or something like that.
It goes in milliseconds.
Yeah, milliseconds of. If you separate that into like small grains, and then for each of those grains you have a volume envelope, so that each grain won't be like harsh, it'll just be sort of smoothed over. And normally these will all be in a single straight line based on time, right? What you can do with granular is you can make them overlap each other slightly, you can duplicate them, you can play around with it basically, so that when you play it, certain things will overlap, certain things will, it'll sound very dreamy almost. So you're chopping it up and just overlaying it on top of each other.
It also can be randomized, right?
You can randomize, you can pitch each grain up or down. You can the amount of variation is insane. You can do a lot.
Yeah. Let's say you are using an auto sound, for instance, and you need an auto sound for a minute, but unfortunately you have an auto sound only for like a real world reference, which is 15 seconds. You can do it in several ways. You can put it inside a timeline and then crossfade, and then, but eventually you're going to end up with a result in which it will sound pasted, right? Copy pasted. But if you throw it in a granular synthesizer and then you do some of the things which he said, adjust the parameters and do it in a certain way, and then use a MIDI, you can get a sound which is almost realistic. For an entire minute, an entire auto was recorded, kind of a thing.
Granular is used a lot in early game engines for making engine sounds. Like, you remember how the bikes used to sound in GTA? Very like rough. It almost sounds like a real engine. Where the way it like ramps up and stuff. They use granular for that.
See, this is like an insane technical detail, like sounds for vehicles and.
Let's go inside game audio. Ashutosh bro, like what do you think of game audio? How vital it is, and your experience inside game audio?
I mean, game audio is just, it's almost invisible. Like, when you look at a game, you see the screenshots and all these things, but when you play it, it's completely different. And I think one of my favorite audio in games is Sekiro. It's incredible.
Beautiful.
God damn.
Just the sound of two swords clashing against each other. It's so immediate and so in your face. It's so good. I mean, that whole game is incredible.
Game audio.
Sekiro is one of them. There's another obscure, not obscure, well, to most people obscure, game called Yume Nikki, which means dream diary in Japanese.
Okay.
And the sounds in that game are really good. And it's like the whole game is just made by one guy, just with images taken from his dream diary. It's very crazy looking. The soundtrack in Silent Hill 1 is just amazing.
Yeah, Macha, I actually just listen to dystopian industrial sounds or industrial synth wave. That's like a really cool genre of music. Even in that, there is this genre of music called chiptunes. There's something called dystopian chiptunes. It's mad. It's mad. It's a mad genre. Not a lot of people talk about these post-apocalyptic sounds yet, but it has always been present, like within a lot of audio, gameplay, and everything, right? Like a specific genre of music. And I obviously, when I went, there was some time when I was in Goa. Okay, there was some time when I took a break from society, went there, stayed there for like 6 months or something. Just hopped about, and I was able to learn a lot of sounds, right? And this like dystopian industrial EDM, synthwave, cyberpunk music was like something that caught on to me like really well. Like I was listening to it for a long time, right? But I did not actually get to like taking the audio, manipulating it on the DJ deck and everything. No, it was like mad. And then only I came. The one genre that I've always listened to was chiptunes, because Met Metroidvania platform games, they have this really really insane way of making chiptune music, and now they have like improved the game design also for those, right? Like the there are so many like pixel games that are coming out these days that have like mad graphics and storyline, at least according to me. And the kind of chiptune evolution, it's nice to see that they are sticking to that one route that has been there from like the black and white game period, and now it's like a full-fledged genre again. Obviously people don't get into it as much, like, but I really wish, like, we can have like a chiptune concert or a listening session per se.
You can make chiptune with my synth. It's just it's just sine waves, and you don't do any fancy modulation. You just turn it on or off. That kind of
Oh,
thing.
that's so cool.
Yeah.
You can make chiptunes with his synth, guys.
There is this portion of audio called distortion.
Hmm.
And distortion, when used right, will do so many great things.
Yeah.
Distortion. Yes,
So-
yes.
How do you see distortion from your perspective, and what does your synth do
Bit crush and distortion.
in terms of that?
My synth, like by default, I feel like maybe if you use the wrong modules together, you'll get distortion.
Okay.
You were playing
Maybe.
about with it, dude.
Uh,
It's mad.
but the way I usually do distortion is like if I'm using FM, just feeding the FM back on itself.
A loop cycle.
Yeah, and just letting it. So like if you have a bunch of FM operators, so just sine waves who control the frequency of the next thing.
Yeah.
So if you
Yeah.
have like a structure like that, you can feed things back and it'll make it sound a lot nastier. I also have bit crushing, which takes like a wave and then turns it into steps almost.
Yeah.
So I have bit crushing, and then my reverb also has like feedback. Normally you'll have feedback like per channel. So I have per channel feedback, and I also have an overall feedback of the whole sound. So that's what I call something else. But yeah, basically anything like there doesn't have to be a control for it. You can manually set up like 2 mixers here and route it back. So yeah, it's just
There are plenty of reverbs, like plate reverbs, hall reverbs, and there is this thing where we can replicate, real life spaces, convolution,
yeah.
or impulse response. So, is there an impulse response reverb in the synth? Or
Not yet. No, not yet. Impulse response, but
okay.
like I am planning on adding a whole bunch of stuff.
So, what's impulse response and how it works?
So impulse response is how a room reacts to sound being played, like how sound moves through a room. So the way they record an impulse response is like they use a sharp sound, like a clap or a gun going off. Like I've used a nail gun in a parking lot before, a gas powered nail gun.
Oh,
So I've done that. Yeah. So yeah, any sharp sound that will echo through the place, and putting that recorded sound back into like a DAW or any other piece of software, you can recreate the space.
in your take, what is the best part of a convolution compared to a normal reverb, or if there's anything which
Like,
will take it up?
I'm not that well versed, but I mean, convolution, like obviously you have more control over the spatial element. So it's more suited towards games and things like that, where you physically move between one volume to another. Yeah, and there might be less parameters in a convolution reverb because you've already recorded all the dynamics. So there might be less, but I haven't I don't know enough about it.
So yeah, so definitely check out the plugin when it's going to come out. And for people who are trying to explore into the world of DSP, There were a couple of books which bro had already dropped in the podcast. I'll highlight it, and I also drop the links for the things if I get it. So definitely check those material. And if there's any more thing which you would love to discuss regarding DSP, drop it in the comments. We would also love to know. Check out the album which bro has dropped. It's available on YouTube. I'll share the links as well. So thank you so much, Ashutosh. ஒரு தடவை நான் கரெக்டா
மேகின்டாஷ்
இரு அஷுதோஷ் கரெக்டா
அஷுதோஷ்
ப்ரோ கரெக்டா தான் சொன்னேன். So thank you so much
அஜினோமோட்டோ.
Thank you so much Ash bro for coming. I'm sorry for blundering. அது வர கஷ்டப்படுது. So thank you so much for coming, and it's been a pleasure discussing things with you. And for people watching, definitely check out our other videos. This is Chig, a platform for independent artists across the art domain. And if you guys enjoyed, like, share, and subscribe. To my left, we have Yadi Boy, independent artist as well. I am myself Chandarkarunakaran. I am an independent artist and a music producer. And to my right, we have Ashutosh bro. He's also a programmer, sound engineer.
Thank you, Ashutosh. என்னோட செயின் மாட்டிக்கிச்சு, நான் மேல வச்சிருந்தேன், டப்புனு கொண்டு போய் மாட்டிக்கிச்சு.
So thank you guys.